Namaste, everybody. I am Rinika Bansal.
And I'm Mayuresh Mhaskar, and we are from DFW, Texas,
We will be presenting to you the great gems of Indian courts.
featuring Chandragupta's 9 gems.
Our presentation will consist of multiple topics, all related to gems in Indian courts, with specific emphasis on the 9 gems of King Vikramaditya. We will start off explaining what gems in courts are and what the lay of the land was. We will also refer to ministers from centuries ago. We will mainly focus on Chandragupta II and his 9 gems in court.
Ever since the beginning of Indian civilization, as dated by Western archaeology, India has had many empires and governing systems rule over the subcontinent. Many monarchies were very successful in governing its populace, and some created utopian times that are still talked about and have significantly impacted history. But behind the success and prosperity of these various empires were not just the face of the monarchy, but also a group of people, including ministers, writers, astronomers, scientists, comedians, doctors, all kinds of people that you could possibly think of were a part of these courts. All these people were called gems and were crucial in aiding the monarch with decision making, and helping with completing tasks of the kingdom, which all ultimately resulted in a prosperous empire that is seen throughout history.
A monarchical form of government has been used in India up until winning their independence in 1947. Ever since then, India had many monarchical heads of states. What has been observed as consistent was a team or council of ministers, each proficient in their own field, such as music, science, astronomy, or warfare. The king did have power over his ministers and could overrule them at any given point, but the kings could not overrule them, meaning that nothing was respected more than doing what was right. The council of ministers were simply there to keep the king in check and help him throughout his decisions by providing knowledge and a helping hand. Usually, kings and their council were afraid of each other, but what truly mattered was the public. Their role in society was to seek justice and correctly punish those who broke the law. They constantly worked up to keep the public happy and did what it took to do the right thing.
It is important to recognize that these gems and their work have been recorded throughout history, and that although many do not know them well or might not know them at all, their contribution to these Indian courts have been recorded and collected so that everyone could learn from them. Examples of references of said gems come in the Mahabharata, explaining how a good empire and a good king is backed with a very strong court that consists of people from all backgrounds and ideas. A portion of what is said in the Mahabharata is given on the slide. The existence of gems has also been recorded in the Kautilya's Arthashastra, which explains that for a king to be successful in running his kingdom, he has to be surrounded by a group of capable ministers. Next, in the Satpatha Brahmana, it is said that in the Vedic period, Ratnins were important persons belonging to the entourage of the ruler and were, by their specific relations to the divine being, considered able to enhance the ruler's power or potential in various respects. Lastly, the Maitrayani Samhita says that gems are the limbs of a ruler. There are many, many more references that also say something along the lines of what these examples say, in which gems existing in Indian courts played an important role in helping the kingdom flourish.
Chandragupta II, mainly known as King Vikramaditya, was a successful king in 380 C throughout 415 CE. He very successfully developed India, but one of his greatest achievements is discovering the 9 gems in court. It is a mystery if he created this assortment, but history dates farthest back to him.
King Vikramaditya's 9 gems are very well known and consist of Kalidasa, Vetalabhata, Varahamihira, Vararuchi, Amarasimha, Dhanvantari, Kshapana, Shanku, and Ghatagarpura. They were called the Navratnas.
These people are 9 courtiers serving the king in court, each designated with their own role. This array of courtiers is later mimicked by King Akbar, Rajkrishna Chanda, and others.
Vikramaditya's first gem was Kalidasa, a well-known writer and poet throughout North India, famous for his work based on the Ramayana, Mahabharata, Vedas, and Puranas. He had written 3 plays during his time as a courtier in Vikramaditya's court. These include the Abhignana Shakuntala, narrating the story of King Dushyant and Shakuntala, Malavika Agnimitram, narrating the love between King Agnimitra and Malavika, and Vikramorvashyam, narrating the story of King Puruvaras and the fairy Urvashi. He also wrote two poems, Raghuvamsha, which directly translates to Raghu dynasty, and Kumara Sambhav. Kalidasa was a very impactful poet that helped Vikramaditya to use his intellect and um, helped him to realize examples from Hindu Itihasa when it came to making decisions important for his kingdom.
King Vikramaditya's second gem was Vetala Bhatta, a Brahmin. He is known for writing Niti Pradeep. In English, this piece's name can be simplified to Lamp of Conduct, as it consists of 16 stanzas which tell us about many aspects of Hinduism. It is also believed that he wrote the Vetala Pancha Vimshatika, which was found in the text Gunadya Pratkatha. King Vikramaditya's third gem in core was Varahamihir, who is an extraordinary astronomer, astrologer, and mathematician of the Gupta era. He has written three texts, his most successful being Panchasiddhantika, a book on mathematical astronomy, second being Brihat Samhita, an encyclopedia revolving around astronomy and other subjects, filled with 100 chapters and more. His last work was Brihat Jatakam, another encyclopedia which explained astrology.
Chandragupta's fourth gem is Vararuchi. He has written Pantra Kaumadi from directions of King Vikramaditya himself. A stanza of his work is shown in the slide. He has also written Linga Vishesha Vidhi and Vidya Sundaram Prasanga Kavyam, which all revolve around the Shastrams and various sciences and describe his background as being an astronomer. Chandragupta's fifth gem was Amarasimha. Amarasimha was a major writer and had written 19 books, but every single piece of his work was lost but one. The maintained piece of writing is a Sanskrit thesaurus, Amarakosha, widely known and also called the Namalingona Shasana or Trikandi. This is the oldest Sanskrit dictionary preserved and is sectioned into three chapters or khandas. The first chapter is named the Swargadi Khanda, which is about heavens and gods. The second is about Bhuvadkhadi Khanda, which is about earth. And the last chapter is Samanyadi Khanda, which is about grammar and miscellaneous words.
King Vikramaditya's sixth gem was Dhanvantari, one of the world's first surgeons and doctors in the Gupta era. It is believed by many that he rediscovered the methods of Ayurveda and founded remedies used to this day. Another major contrary belief is that Dhanvantari was a reincarnation of Vishnu himself, based on his astonishing discoveries and his devotion toward Dhanvantari. He was the author of Sushruta Samhita, a medical text with 186 chapters. This book spreads knowledge about diseases and remedies. Dhanvantari is also given credit for researching the healing properties of turmeric and the beneficial properties of salt. And on top of all of these groundbreaking discoveries, he is also credited for inventing plastic surgery and executing this process throughout his time. King Vikramaditya's seventh gem was Shapanak. He, who was placed as one of the 9 gems in King Vikramaditya's court, was a poet and a writer. It is rumored that he wrote the Dwatramsika, but the original author of the text is truly unknown. This Sanskrit text is full of tales and stories about King Vikramaditya himself and his ruling throughout the Golden Age, narrating his struggles and misfortunes, but his successes and bravery as well.
Shanku is one of the 9 gems which doesn't have much information that has been tracked or kept. However, all that is known about this minister is that he was an architect and helped Vikramaditya in many architectural pursuits that he wanted to do in the kingdom. Finally, the last gem was Ghatakarpara, who was also an author slash writer like Kalidasa or Kshapanak. He wrote the Nitisara and Ghatakarpara Kavyam, which was a biography on the journey of being a minister in Vikramaditya's court and how the empire flourished during his time.
We covered a lot of information in the slideshow, and more can be found in our official paper.
Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoyed the presentation. Dhanyavad.